Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Thanks for joining the live chat. Can you hear me, viewers? Thank you for responding with yes, Simon Tesfaye. This is last live chat of the week, and I'll be back on Friday for the next live chat. I'll have your questions and comments in these live chat. People say, Sajid, you speak too much. You don't take questions, you don't read comments. Live chats should not be like videos. In videos, you speak and viewers only comment, but in live chats, you don't let viewers speak. You don't let them comment, you just speak yourself, and then you just end the live chat. So, this live chat is for you. You can write anything, and I'm here to respond, I'm here to read it for you. Let me welcome the participants. Simon Tesfaye, first viewer, he says, Hey Sajid, you found the beach. It's an old pic, by the way. Uh, I am planning to visit a country next month. And this pic is not from Pakistan, by the way. Simon says, Is this a commentary on the port access Ethiopia wants? Every Dom says, Hello Sajid, Jawar is a demagogue. What makes you say that? Why did you use this word for Jawar? Araya Gabriel Georgius joined too. I think G/Georgius means Gabriel Georgius. Am I right, Araya? Arayag. Yabsira Tamiro says, clickbait, where is the beach? Well, can't I use my picture as a thumbnail? Abu Bakr says, come to Somalia. The cost is over 3.5 kilometer. Yeah, 3.5 kilometer. Cost, not cost. Sorry. The cost is over 3 kilometer. I think cost you wanted to write. 3.5 kilometer. Somalia has a long
coastal line. Horner K says, Sajid, is TDF still in control in parts of Raya, Lamata, Korob, etc.? Horner, TPLF in full control there. Amhara forces, Amhara militias fled. Southern Tigray is back under Tigray control. And it happened months ago. I think I updated you through scores of videos. For life says, Sajid, what will happen to Ethiopia after Abiy? Well, nothing will happen to Ethiopia. Ethiopia won't collapse. I mean, it's not Abiy which is binding Ethiopia together. Life will go on. Ethiopia will go on. New leader will be elected. So I don't see uh, Ethiopia collapse if Abiy leaves. But how will Abiy leave? This is the question. If his departure is violent, then we could see post Abiy period, which could be difficult. Thank you, Rayag, for confirming. Peace and love joined to welcome. Peace and love says, good day, Mr. Sajid. Welcome to you, peace and love. Good to see you there. Assalamu alaikum, Sajid. Who are you? Jafar is saying. Do you want to write, how are you? I'm fine, Jafar, how are you? Hiwath MT joined to welcome Hiwath. How are you? Says hello. Now, Mengistu is back with his comment, which he writes in live chats almost on daily basis. Why are you focusing on Ethiopia? As if I'm committing a crime by focusing on Ethiopia. Should I just explain to everyone why I cover Ethiopia? It's my right to cover any country. It's a challenge, by the way. Why don't you cover a country? Then you'll see how challenging it is. It's not fun, by the way. It's very challenging. I love the challenge. Abu Bakr says, could the Ankara deal survive? And if not, is it possible for Ethiopia to return to the MOU with Somaliland? Well, Abu Bakr, Ankara declaration is just a roadmap. It's not a binding agreement. Binding agreements will be negotiated. We don't know what will happen. Long way to go. It's not easy for both Ethiopia and Somalia to reach an amicable solution to their dispute. And so far, Ethiopia has not confirmed that it has withdrawn from the MOU. That is why fate of the MOU is unclear. I use the word freeze for MOU after Ankara declaration. I think MOU has been frozen, but it can be back in business soon if Ethiopia-Somalia talks collapse. Jalmaro joined. Who? His name is Jalmaro. Ignore the haters. Keep doing good work. Thank you, Jalmaro. Are you Kumsa Dereba Jalmaro or you love Jalmaro? That is why you chose this name. For Life says TPLF is mobilizing new troops. I think they have other plan. What do you think? Well, Gita Chore, the group and opposition parties, they want to paint TPLF as if it is pro-war, as if it wants a new war, as if it's mobilizing fighters. etc. I think TPLF is focused on removing Gita Choreda. Its main focus, its primary focus, TPLF, the Bretsian's primary focus is removal of Gita Choreda. I don't think that it wants to wage war on Eritrea, wants to wage war on federal government or Amhara. If any conflict erupted in Tigray, it would be internal, I think. Yabsira Tamiro says, how do you think Ethiopia upcoming election be carried out with a lot of war going on where half of the country can't vote? Well, Yabsira, compare it to what happened in 2021. Back then, there was a full-scale war in northern Ethiopia. Still, election was held. And this instability, this atmosphere of warlike situation, it suits the Ethiopian government. It can use forces to crush opposition. So instability suits the holding of election, not transparent election. Gailu Dugasa says, Sajid, you overrated Jawar. Firstly, considering Jawar as a contender for the next premiership is totally an illusion. Abiy will not let Jawar enter Ethiopia and carry out a political campaign. Well, this is the contest. Jawar is going to mobilize his support base in Ethiopia. Abiy will try to keep him away from Ethiopia. This is what they'll fight for. And people say Jawar has lived his political career. I think he's starting his career. And now he's going to be tested. I think Jawar should not be underestimated, I believe. I'll do a video on Jawar's strategy. I mentioned that in previous video as well, that tomorrow or after tomorrow I'll do a video on that. Jawar definitely is a plan. Yubabelo said, do you think there'll be election in Amhara region? Yeah, it's difficult to conduct an election, but maybe in some selected areas, election can be held. Escol, nice thumbnail, Sajid. Thank you, Escol. Simon Tesfaye, is France and Ethiopia going to play a proxy war in Ethiopia land? Well, these Western countries are just want to make money. I think France is in Ethiopia because it is being kicked out of Africa. It wants to revive naval deal with Ethiopia. And you saw what Macron said about port access. He was very calculated in his remarks about Ethiopia-Somalia dispute. Why would France involve indirect support for Ethiopia? It will earn money, it will sell weapons to Ethiopian government. Indirectly, it can support Ethiopian government, but directly, I don't think that France will support Ethiopia for a new war. Interesting question from Abukar. Let me respond to it. Who is actually keeping Ethiopia together? There is some form of independence movement in every region, and it is still existing. Well, I think force, use of force is keeping Ethiopia together. Imagine that the Ethiopian military withdraws from the Amhara region today. What will happen tomorrow? Fano will take over. So military is saving Ethiopia from disintegration, I believe. Military is one of the major factors, I would say. That is why Ethiopian defense budget being increased. Ethiopia buying modern drones, Ethiopia buying modern weapons, though it's people dying of hunger. Government knows, Abiy's government knows that its survival is linked to the establishment of a strong and huge army. Lilo says, Sajid, how do you see we are hearing PP government call protest, including Silale to protest Jawar book? Yeah, you'll see that. I mentioned a few points from Abi's book, which I think he could use against Jawar. Definitely, PP will now launch anti-Jawar campaigns in Ethiopia. PP will try to attack his support base too, I think. Just like Ola sympathizers are targeted, they're put in prisons, they are sometimes killed in encounters. I think if Jawar manages to just penetrate Oromia and people start acting on Jawa's instructions, you could see brutal use of force on Jawar supporters and some anti-Jawar campaigns. That's why I'm saying that Jawar should not be underestimated. Uh, this is real fight between Jawar and Abi. Galmo, you're not late. The Horn affair, you're not late, you're on time. TMG says Assad did not survive with this huge army that included Iran and Russia. Abi have no chance. Well, Assad survived. When did he come to power? I think around 2 decades ago, more than 2 decades ago, if I'm not wrong. So Assad's and he and his father ruled for several decades, and he lost power gradually. That could happen in the case of Ethiopia, Ethiopian Abiy as well. But those who are hoping to reach Addis Ababa tomorrow, they should realize that tomorrow they cannot overthrow Abiy. Tola it says the motive behind Jawar's actions is money. Let's see. Too early to say. I think he wants a major political role in Ethiopia. Yes, he wants to be the prime minister. He thinks that he's the one who brought Abiy to power. Now this is his turn. 2026 should be his year of in Arat Kilo. So it's not just for money. And once he comes to power, I think then he can earn no matter how much he wants to earn. Average Dom says Jawar will never be trusted by Amhara. He said unforgivable stuff about them. Yeah, the stuff will be highlighted now by PP, by PP backed activists, by PP backed Amhara activists too. Jawar did not say anything in the last 2 years. You hear anything from Jawar in the last 2 years? I think he was very restrained in his criticism to the last 2 years. He criticized the government only, prosperity party only. But now his speeches of the past are going to be quoted. Government magnitude says Ethiopian politics is not a secret. It is simple. Corruption, evil, greed, tribal illiteracy, stupidity, and inhumane activities. Simon Tesfaye says, who is more powerful, Shimalis, Abdi, or Jawar, and how do they differ in terms of agenda? I am working on a video on major influential politicians in Ethiopia. I'll do a video on Oromo politicians in coming days. So there, uh, then we will compare them. Drum joined to welcome Drum. Aman Washehead to welcome Aman. Mengistu says, when Zameen Kasi gets in 4 kilo, hopefully he invites you to that day. Let's see what happens. You see, I'm fine. How are you? For Life says, fight between Abi and Jawar is drama. Well, so far, it's not drama. I think it's real. It's not friendly fire. But let's see. Maybe at some stage, at some later stage, they reach some sort of deal. Uh, because if they realize that their fight for power might give an opportunity to politicians from other regions to be in Addis Ababa, maybe then at that stage they could change their minds. So far, it's real. Aman says, I wonder if these people think there is a cold in 4 kilo. They keep wishing 4 kilo. Yeah, they want to reach 4 kilo, but ground reality is that Fano and Ola both are not in a position to reach Addis Ababa in coming days, weeks, or even months. Galmu says, how do you think the future of this country? Well, future is not very bright. I don't want to sound pessimistic, but so far, direction is not right. Sorry, nothing has been done to uh, nothing been done for the youths of this country. The youths are the future of a country. If you start educating them, if you start uh, giving them skills, and if you start promoting entrepreneurship, etc., you lay foundation for a better future. But we are seeing that there is a competition ongoing now between armed groups and government to recruit fighters. So, building a few roads, building a palace, building even a dam does not mean that direction is right. Overall, direction is not right. So, no bright future for Ethiopia. Secondly, institution building, nothing has been done. Judiciary, accountability mechanisms, media, parliament, opposition, all the institutions are being eroded by the government. All the governments. See what is happening in Tigray. I mean, Tigray fought. These people laid down their lives and now they're fighting for more power. And they learned nothing from the war. TPLF denying space to opposition parties, or TPLF fighting an internal divisive battle. So this is what is happening in Tigray, other parts of Ethiopia. So nothing. I don't see infrastructure progress as a sign of better future for Ethiopia. I think if Ethiopia manages to build more skilled, more enlightened, more technologically advanced generation, then I would say that future is bright. Right now, just recruitment. This is what is happening. Jafar Jamal says, I don't know, Sajid, but I don't see Jawar contesting for the PM spot. He would have to fly back to Ethiopia to do that, and I can't imagine him doing. Well, if election is to be held, Abiy will have to allow Jawar others to run. That is what Jawar is working on. He wants to ensure his participation, his inclusion. He will definitely come to Ethiopia, but he will come to Ethiopia after he gets guarantees from international community, after he has mobilized his support base, so that if Abiy tries to put him in prison in Ethiopia, people march against the government. So he's doing his homework. He is mobilizing his support base now. He will come once he knows that this is the time to strike a blow, and now government is not in a position to arrest him. Then he'll come, you'll see that. Ismail Idle says, Hi Sajid, France trained Ethiopian Navy so far 10,000 naval army. Where are the troops? Well, they're being trained only. And Navy is deployed to commercial ships as well sometimes, I think. Ethiopian commercial ships are operating to ports which are being used by Ethiopian government in Kenya, in Djibouti. Tamji says, Ab is like $1 billion lottery winner, but who throw it all away? Now it's time for Java or anyone else. Yugoi says the fact that France wants war in East Africa is not being talked about, or that one port given to Ethiopia will not solve Ethiopian needs. Well, I don't think France wants, and it is fueling a war in East Africa, but it wants to sell its weapons. It wants to have a foothold in, continue having a foothold in Djibouti. Uh, this is what France wants. Horner K says, Are you sure the southern Tigray is under Tigray forces control? So, what do you say, Horner K? Who is controlling southern Tigray? Lilo says, How do you see about asking of Oromo politicians regarding Addis Ababa and Harar to be part of Oromia? Well, it's not surprising. Addis Ababa, they talk about it. They say it's part of Oromia. They officially say that. They say Addis Ababa is part of Oromia. Harar is their addition, I think. And maybe Moyale as well. I think Moyale is split between Somali region of Ethiopia and Oromo region of Ethiopia. They're demanding inclusion of whole Muyale in Oromia. Well, it's just a demand. I mean, it does not mean that Oromia government, Oromia people is planning to make Harar or Muyale part of Oromia. The politician made this demand. It doesn't mean that it's the official policy of the regional government. Abukar, could Puntland create its own currency, or will the federal government of Somaliland do first? Well, Puntland is making big moves, by the way. Hassan Sheikh government is gradually losing its writ. Jubaland inflicted crushing defeat on federal forces in Ras Kamboni, and now Puntland wants to introduce a new currency, separate currency. Uh, it's a mockery of Somalia's federation. People say, Sajid, there are countries where states have more than one currencies. Those countries have institutions where states, regional states and federal government, they have agreed on some principles. In Somalia, federal government is very weak. Regional states getting stronger and Mogadishu getting weaker. There is no agreed and respected charter about the relations between federal government and regional governments. I think Somalia needs a new agreement between regions and federal government. And the agreement then should be implemented no matter what happens. If anyone violates it, they should be held accountable. Problem is that federal government is very weak. It's not in a position to enforce its writ. I say Somalia needs to have a strong military. That is how it can impose its writ. It needs to have strong federal government too. Jacob Jericho says, good to see you smiling, Pope Sajid. Why do you call me Pope, by the way? African Star joined too. Foreign affairs. What do you think is the major foreign currency income of Eritrea? I think they rely a lot on remittances. Eritrean Post says, will Egyptian military be deployed to Somalia or not? It's unclear so far. But Ethiopian inclusion is being confirmed. I think Egypt now won't be able to make large scale deployment to Somalia. Maybe some symbolic uh, deployment. Dalmer says the conflicts in Amhara and Oromia weakening Ethiopia. Yeah. Conflict in Oromia weakening Ethiopia for decades. It's not new. Conflict in Amhara is destabilizing the entire Amhara region. But based on that, we cannot say Ethiopia is about to collapse. African Star says, is it cold inside your home? I am in Sweden. It's cold here, but why you have gloves on? Yeah, it's very cold here. I have to wear gloves. Average Dom says you need to make a video about Hassan Sheikh's failures. Already people accuse me of being anti-Somali. I mention, I think, his failures in videos. I talk about his political decisions, his foreign policy as well. But yes, I can work on such a video about his failures, about what he needs to do, what he has done, etc. FTS Union says the fact that there is no other opposition leaders other than Jawar is preoccupying. Well, I hinted at this fact in a live chat 2 days ago. I said another prime minister from Oromia. Title of that live chat was another prime minister from Oromia. I suggested that politicians from other regions should start preparing themselves for the next election. Amhara politicians, especially, they shouldn't just hope for Fano to reach Addis Ababa, I think. One last question, then we'll end the live chat. Aman says, what are the chances of Abiy getting naval port? Naval port, naval base, basically, chances very slim. Chances of Ethiopia getting a naval base in Somalia very slim, because Somalia has made it clear that Ethiopia can only gain access to sea for commercial purpose. Now, Ethiopia will try to link the use of sea for commercial purpose and deployment of its navy too. That is why I say that talks are going to be very tough between Ethiopia and Somalia starting next month. With 37 minutes have passed, I think we should end the live chat. It was good to be with you. I think we should end it now. I'll be back on Friday for the next 3-day live chat. Always good to be with you. If anything I'm missing on my views and news, do contact me on my Gmail. I respond to your mails too. If you are interested in writing for News Addis, you can write articles and send it to me. Yesterday, a viewer wrote an article about Eritrean National Service that I will hopefully publish tomorrow. I publish articles as I receive without any editing. In opinion section, I publish your articles. This section is for you, for writers. Anyone can write here. Content should not be hateful or provocative, and it should not be copied. It should be original content. Our website is now getting views. I'm working on it. I write 3-4 articles a day. So if you want your opinion to be heard, I welcome you to write for News Addis. You can write the article and send it to my Gmail, sajid672000. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on Friday. See you. Bye bye.